to Talk to Me Tuesday on the Jungle Gin live show. And as you can see, we are not in the RV today. That's because we have super special guests with us today, Clayton of Torch Fitness. You guys, this is so cool. This is so great. So Clayton, tell us about Torch Fitness. Start there, and then we'll go on to our Thankful Thrives. Go for it.
Well, Torch Fitness has been in operation for over 10 years now, and it's now moved to my garage, funny enough, and that wasn't even part of the original plan. It just so happened that way, and I was actually already in the move here before the quarantine happened, interestingly enough, and I started doing live workouts here Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. every morning, just to give people some motivation, some kind of a good system of working out during the quarantine, especially all the gyms closed and people needing to do some kind of workout. So I just thought it was great to be able to offer people that option. So
you did it on your Facebook page, right?
Yeah,
okay, cool.
Live on my Facebook page.
Okay.
And did that for 10 weeks. So I had 50 workouts total, and we ended up doing, I think there was about 5,000 total workouts done.
Whoa.
If I counted correctly through that 10 weeks. And then after that, I decided, through a few people asking if I was going to continue, to turn it into a subscription option. So now I've got a private page on Facebook, and I go live now 3 days a week, and we do all different types of workouts, and I've got a digital library too that I'm building.
Awesome.
With all different types of workouts in there for people, just to keep them going as gyms stay closed. And a lot of people have found they love working out at their homes now. So it's just been a passion of mine to help people fitness-wise during this time.
That's so cool. So you record them Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but then or you do them live, and people can do them with you live, or they can come on later and watch them.
Yeah, and go back and watch the replay. So it fits into any schedule, and all the workouts follow about a 20-minute of actual exercise time. So you block out 30 minutes, and they've got the workout taken care of with minimal equipment. And a lot of the workouts are even no equipment too. So
awesome. My brother and sister-in-law have been doing your workouts, and they say they love them. And they said, Jen, you got to get him on the show. He's got such cool ideas. And from what I understand, it's a little bit different than what you would hear from or maybe see at other studios. So we'll get into that a little bit more in just a minute. But what are you thankful for? All right. Wait, we got to ask them. First. We got to ask them, have you done your 5 Thankful Thrives today? What are 5 things? Now, you don't have to put them all in the comment section right here, but maybe just give me a thumbs up, a heart, something. If you woke up this morning and you thought to yourself before you got out of bed, or maybe after you got out of bed, maybe you got to have your coffee first. What is something that's happened in the last 24 hours and you can't repeat something you've used before? Something that you are thankful for. Remember, attitude and gratitude. Your gratitude will change your attitude. So Clayton, I got to ask you, you've got a beautiful family, awesome fitness studio. God has orchestrated it so great for you to move out of the studio you were in into these live things where now you've got even more people, I assume, right?
Yeah.
Watching, doing the workouts. What is something that you are thankful for?
Well, my daughter and the special moments that we have together, especially when we get to go. She loves to have burgers. So yesterday we got to go after her school and go to her favorite place, or one of them, to go get a burger. And she loves to go out to eat. And it's such a special time that we get to have when we're at the table, because it's amazing how food just opens her up to want to talk about everything. So I'm very thankful for those special moments and conversations we have at the table.
I like that. Have you tried that with your kids? Give me a heart or a thumbs up. Have you tried just special food, right? Like whatever they love. If they're enjoying it, then maybe they'd be a little more open to talking and sharing. And remind me again, how old's your daughter?
She's 7.
She's 7. Oh, that's precious. So just some daddy-daughter time. I love that. That's great. Now, these workouts that you do your kids ever do them with you?
Yeah, the funny thing is several of the workouts, because our daughter was quarantined from school too during that time.
Yeah.
And so she would come out here with me in the mornings, and she'd be on a lot of the workouts. And I found out later that a lot of people were watching the workouts because she was so entertaining and they enjoyed watching her on there. So it wasn't even me.
They weren't tuning in for you.
She was tuning in. They were tuning in to watch her and just enjoying that. And so I actually took all those quarantine workouts that I did, all 50 of them. I downloaded them and I've uploaded them, or still uploading some of them, into my fitness library on my private page there.
That's great. Now I just want to go and sit on the couch and watch her.
Yeah.
No, I'll do the workouts too, guys. Don't do that. Don't sit on the couch and just watch Clayton and his daughter. Actually get up and move. And that's something we talk about a lot on Workout Wednesdays. It's just fitness ways, health ways to move your body. And I know I've been preaching to you about this, about move your body every day. Eat healthy. We talk about my diet all the time on the show. But now I've got somebody else here to tell you, but he's going to go even farther. Oh, I see. Okay, cool. I see. Yes. Clayton, you've got your band on. We've got them. SDA bands. Yes, we have got them on. He's
green, baby.
All about the green. Green is just hug me, kiss on me, whatever, all over me. It's okay. The yellow bands that SDA has, these are just, hey, during pandemic time, high five, elbow bump. I know where you're at. I'm not going to come and give you a jungle gym tackle hug if you've got the yellow on. And then the red that SDA bands has is just, hey, right now during the quarantine time, I need to keep a little distance. It's okay. Maybe you have a health condition. Maybe somebody you live with has a health condition. No problem. I want to honor that, respect that. And so if I see you've got one of these on, I'm going to give you some love from afar. I'm going to give you some smiles and some air hugs, right? We can do the air hugs. Red, even though red would actually match us today. But we've got the green on today. But what do you like? SDAbands.com, they are offering, guys, 50% off. 50% off if you use JungleGen50 as the promo code for your church. They are all about getting people back into the churches. So if your church is interested in these, use the promo code on their website, JungleGen50. They will give you guys 50% off. These have been so valuable in our sanctuary. We are seeing numbers every week increase in the sanctuary, and it's great just to know where each other stands. So then somebody can feel comfortable coming, even if they need to wear red, they still feel comfortable and don't feel like they're going to be tackled by a Jungle Gin hug. Or they'll just get a high five or an elbow bump or whatever. It's just a great way to communicate in the churches, as well as out. I told you the story the other day about somebody in JCPenney. Oh boy, did she come up for a Jungle Gin hug. And on her way running, she's like, I got the green on! And then just tackle. So it's a great way to communicate where you stand during this, just a way to respect each other's boundaries and space. All right, pandemic preparedness. This is important. Health, safety, preparedness. Clayton, I want to ask you, what is maybe one thing, two things, five things, wherever you want to go with it, what is something that you wish people knew about preparedness for this pandemic as we're still going through it?
That's a great question. And I want to start with something that might seem like real basic understanding, but a lot of times when things are happening, we forget the basics. And so I want to go back to the basics, and I want to say this, is that the number one thing I feel with being prepared during a pandemic, and as we're continuing to walk through it, is that the very thing that you were doing before the pandemic to be healthy, all the ways around, mentally, physically, and spiritually, those are the same things that you do during the pandemic. So just because we have new information doesn't mean that our foundation has changed for what we do.
Good point.
So
I like that. So what were you doing before the pandemic to be healthy? I can't believe I didn't even think of that. The pandemic hit, and then I know for myself, I thought, well, first of all, I've got a lot of extra time at home. What are all these things I need to change? But if I was healthy beforehand, what are some of those things? And he said not just physically, but mentally, spiritually. I think about something also of like, okay, if you weren't spending 5 or 6 hours on Netflix beforehand, Don't be spending 5 or 6 hours on Netflix
That's
now.
right.
What a great point. I hadn't thought of that. That's great. That's great. Okay, what else? What else? These are good.
Okay, 'cause I know we could go a lot more into that one.
Do you have other examples of that?
Well, I think you covered it well with the Netflix thing, because I
Yeah.
think what I saw too is a lot of people finding that they were turning to unhealthy things during the quarantine that they weren't doing before. So they were kind
Good
of
point.
going the opposite way, when in a time like this, it's even more important for people to be thinking about their health.
Yeah.
You know, with a lot of other factors and moving parts around. So yeah, you
Yeah.
brought up a great point, is don't start doing things that are unhealthy during a time when health becomes even more important. You
Good
know?
point.
So, yeah, and a funny thing that I saw is that it was a picture of somebody trying to button their jeans during the quarantine. It says, I can't get my buttons, snapped because they're starting to social distance each other. So, so we want to make sure that doesn't happen. I was calling it the quarantine 15.
Oh no.
And so,
oh no.
So, the freshman 15 or freshman 10 has now gone to the quarantine 15.
The quarantine 15.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
So-
All right, what else? What else you got
So-
for us?
Yeah, so the second thing, and I want to start by telling a story to really illustrate this.
Yeah.
And think of this. This is a true story. It's a guy who worked on this plant, and they had a bunch of old railroad cars that they just used for storage facilities. And he had to go into one of these railroad cars to get something.
Okay.
Well, when he went in, the door slammed shut behind him and locked. And it was an old refrigerator car, hadn't worked in probably decades.
Oh.
It was around, they say, mid-70s during that day, a typical Midwest summer day. And because this man that got locked in this old refrigerator car thought that he was in a refrigerator car and he couldn't get out, he began to panic.
Oh.
And he actually ended up dying, sadly enough, in this refrigerator car. When they did the autopsy, they found that he actually froze to death. That was his cause of death in 75-degree weather.
Because it actually didn't work, right? It was broken. The car
Yeah.
was broken.
Yeah, it was broken, hadn't worked in years. And so his mind was so convinced and so in fear of the fact that he thought he was in this refrigerator car that worked. In his mind, he died. His body followed what his mind did. And so what I would tell the people during these times, preparedness method, is to make sure that your belief system is in check, because what we believe about something can end up determining what our body does in response to that thing. And stress is a really, just common example. I was just talking to a lady actually yesterday who is telling me she has no health problems that the doctors could find, but her heart was going all over the place.
Yeah.
And they were doing all sorts of tests. And he said, you're just under tremendous amounts of stress. And so our mind, what we're experiencing, how we process things that are happening, can actually influence our body to follow with very poor health. And it could be a lot of different things that can happen in our body from that.
That's crazy. The mind, we know the mind is so powerful, but the body is actually going to follow the mind, and the mind is following the body. So and the autopsies show that the guy actually froze to death because the mind had convinced him of that.
It actually did. It was a true autopsy report. It was a legitimate story that happened, and it really drove home the point on just how we can affect our lives based on what we think, even if what we think is false information. And one thing I think of is like getting a doctor's report.
Right.
The doctor's report comes and it says one thing, and it might be a factual statement from that doctor, but then there's a superseding truth to that, where, okay, what does the Bible say about healing?
Absolutely.
What is healing, compared to this doctor's report I have? So if we lose sight of what the actual truth is, the real reality, then we can become basically a victim to what the facts were presented with, or
or even
how we perceive
misinformation.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
the guy had misinformation in his mind about the freezing cart. And I think it also goes to, where are you spending more mental time? Are you spending more mental time worrying about, let's even use your example of the health report, or more mental time in Scripture, claiming those promises? I have been healed. I am healed. Jesus has got this for me. Where are you putting your mental time That's huge. Especially,
Yes.
we've talked about this before on the show of how much time people are spending on social media, on Instagram and Facebook. And I tell them, get your Bible, put your face in the book. That's your Facebook right there.
Yeah.
Because that's where the truth is. Jesus says to us that he's going to make something great. Even out of this bad situation, he works all things together for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. Romans 8:28.
Yes.
So I've believed through this whole pandemic. People have thought I was crazy, but I actually believe God's going to work something miraculous out of all of this. It's going to come out better than we could have asked for or imagined. But that's my mindset. That's where my mind is set. Oh, that's a great point. I love it. What else? What else do you have for us?
Well, another thing that comes to mind is, and what I've been telling people through this whole thing, even that first initial quarantine we had back in March, I said the mask, your best mask, is your immune system.
Ooh, that's good. I like that. Your best mask is your immune system. Is that right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Because no matter how well you protect yourself, you could literally put yourself in a bubble suit and quarantine yourself in your own home for 3 months. But if you're not taking care of your immune system, if you're not getting outside and getting sun, if you're not, turning off the news and allowing the fear broadcasting to get into your mind, if you're drinking your Mountain Dew for breakfast and you're, eating Krispy Kreme donuts for snacks during the day, if that's a regular thing throughout the day, your immune system is not going to be able to fight off anything, and the body will eventually break down. And so, and if you flip that script, you could be exposed to sickness all over around you and have a very healthy immune system, and your immune system has adapted how to fight that off. And the best way I describe it is, it's kind of like going to the gym. Yeah. You need resistance in the gym in order to break your muscles down.
To break the muscle.
So
yeah, I get it.
down.
Okay, I get it.
And so if you are not breaking your muscles down, they don't have the environment to grow stronger. And then they'll end up atrophying and they'll get weaker over time. They don't just stay the same. So it's the same with our immune system. Our immune system has to be exposed to germs and resistance and viruses and things out there in order for it to get stronger, and then it better prepares it for anything that may come. So then it can just fight stuff off, just like this. I think of the movie The Matrix. It's just like dodging bullets. It's like that's your immune system. When it's robust, healthy, and well cultivated.
Now I think about this also, and tell me if I'm wrong, but by quarantining ourselves and by not going out in public, we've actually lessened our immune system to other things like colds and maybe even like strep throat and things like that. Do you feel like a lot of people have lower immune systems now because we weren't generally at Walmart or generally out and about? Do you think that's possible?
That's a really great point, because the thing is you can't protect yourself from germs all the time. And eventually what happens, your body gets used to not being exposed to those germs. Yeah. And so then it forgets those germs. So then when you're reintroduced to those same germs out in public that your body had built up a previous immunity to, then that can actually cause you to get sick. Something that you had a previous immunity to, because your immune system kind of forgot how to deal with that.
Forgot how to fight it.
Yeah, it basically disables your immune system's natural capability when you are, put back into that environment. It's kind of like a petri dish, that your body's like, whoa, what's this? And so it has to process all these new things. So really, this idea, they talked about a second wave coming, and
of COVID. Okay.
But what's come out is that the real second wave is because people
don't have an immune system.
Yeah, they've basically weakened their immune systems through all of the quarantining and not being exposed to these things they normally were on a regular basis. And so then their body is just going to be in a state of shock when it gets reintroduced to all these things. Man. And so one thing I tell people is, I have been going as normal, touching carts. I haven't changed like how I interact with my environment wherever I go. Okay. Of course, I haven't gotten sick, and because I've kept my immune system strong. So that's one of the things I've done is I've made sure to, not
expose yourself,
not protect my immune system.
Right.
I've kept it exposed to the things it was normally exposed to, and because of that, it's maintained its
a stronger system. Oh, that's good. That's good. All right, so in the last couple of minutes, all right, let's just review. So do things that you were doing before the pandemic that were helping you stay healthy. Continue to do things. Don't add in things like extra Krispy Kreme donuts and an extra 5 hours of Netflix. But also staying healthy by eating good foods, exercising. Torch Fitness, look it up on Facebook. This is awesome. A new home workout for you if you need to change it up a little bit. And is it okay to say be okay with exposing yourself?
Exactly.
Yeah, because that's actually what's going to, you think about kids and how they stay so healthy. Well, it's because they're around all these other kids all the time at school. They're being exposed. I love it. Any final words from you, Clayton?
That's awesome. I tell you, I think for people just to realize that you have control over your mind, your body, your spirit. So I think right now it seems there's so many people that think that they've lost control because of the information that's coming in from all the different sources on a daily basis, sometimes an hourly basis.
Yeah.
And to push that aside for a second, step back, zoom out, realize that you have control over what's going into your body, how you are treating your body, how you're handling your health during this time, the relationships that you're cultivating and having, the things that you're allowing in your mind or not, what you're putting in there, and in your spirit, and so how you're feeding that. So you really have more control over that than you think, and to realize that it's really up to us. We can't control the craziness that's going on, but we definitely can stabilize our own foundation of health and all the different facets of health in our own lives.
Control, guys. Control. Give me a heart. Give me a thumbs up if you are going to take control. Mental health, physical health, spiritual health. Focus on the positive. Focus on keeping yourself and your mind healthy, and your body will follow. We love you. Thank you for tuning in today. God bless you. Have a healthy, prepared, smart Tuesday. Love you guys. Bye.
See ya.